Hello everybody, it's been a little while. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today is a very exciting video. As you may be able to see behind me, slight giveaway here, we're actually in our other garden. We're in the pumpkin patch, and obviously tis the season for pumpkins and for autumn and all that lovely stuff. So I thought we could do a little bit of like an autumn decorate in our little house, and we can harvest our pumpkins, which is really exciting. So I'm going to give you a little tour of the pumpkin patch. As you can kind of see, it's gone absolutely wild. Like, they have grown to infinity and beyond. Like, they've gone mental. You can kind of see a few of them there. So what we actually did was last year we went pumpkin picking, as you do. Obviously had the pumpkins for autumn and Halloween and all that lovely stuff, and then I kind of without thinking composted them in these beds and totally forgot about them. Just put the pumpkins in there, they rotted down over winter. Then we put just soil on top, we didn't put cardboard over them, and then all these shoots started coming up in, I think it was about May, June time, and they've gone crazy. They've gone absolutely wild. You can kind of see they've just taken over the garden. So I thought we could pick some, harvest them all. We're probably going to chop all this back now because as you can see it's kind of dying and yeah, coming to the end of its season. And then yeah, we can distribute them around the house, probably save some for gifts for people, maybe even cook with a few of them, because they're a real mismatch of lots of different types of pumpkins. So yeah, come along for the journey. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're interested in more weird and wonderful content like this. And without further ado, let's get pumpkin harvesting. So it looks awful, doesn't it? You can kind of see the two veg beds here and here, and they basically go all the way back to about there on both sides, and the pumpkins have just completely taken over. So we'll start off on this one. So we've got this wonderful, I think this is a gourd technically here that you just saw in the background of the video. So it's kind of like a rugby ball shaped one, but then we've got this massive one that is clinging on for dear life onto the fence there. We've then got this wonderful piece here. So this is it's kind of a bit knobbly. Ooh, and it's going orange at the bottom, so I don't know whether to leave that and let it ripen a little bit more, or if it will ripen once you pick it. My only concern is quite a few have like rotted, so I don't want to leave it too long, or they'll all start rotting because it's starting to get quite wet and cold now. There's another pumpkin here. We have my absolute favourite one here. Look how beautiful she is. She's huge. It looks absolutely amazing, and that will be an amazing Halloween one, I think. Got a little one here which is got a really unusual bottom to it as well. Oh, there's another one here next to the really big one. Again, this is like a knobbly, I think these were called monster pumpkins because of like the knobbles on them. Can you kind of see that there? Kind of sagey green one here, which is a lovely size. It's like a Cinderella pumpkin, that one. It's really pretty. You can see it's literally grown over everything. It's gone wild. So yeah, it really does need cutting back. It's gone a bit crazy. Another lovely green, beautiful one there. Really, really pretty. It's so heavy. And then we've kind of got the other side here. You can see our rhubarb is kind of going over now. We've got one here, which again, oh, just that's the first one, the first harvested one. Let's put that down over here. So that is the basic overview of the pumpkin patch. So what I'm going to do now is put you on a bit of a time lapse and just kind of harvest them, just pull them all out, cut it back, and then we can use them to decorate in the house, which will be really exciting. Right, so I've kind of cleared out this patch and we've got quite a few to be going on with. I'm going to move on to the big one now. I will also need help getting this one down because I really don't want it to fall and break. So we're going to move on to the big ones now and see what they look like. The little one here, the funky little bottom end of it there. amazing, amazing haul, glut, like harvest. It looks insane. I am so grateful actually to have been able to grow all of these amazing pumpkins. Just proud, gratitude. I'm just so happy. It looks incredible, and there is a lot of food here. You may be thinking, oh my gosh, that could be quite wasteful, but we are going to be giving a lot of these away to like friends, family, neighbours. As you saw, it basically took over our garden, so I definitely think we owe our neighbours a couple of pumpkins, just as a sorry it took up so much room and looked a mess for a while. Right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to just take you through all of the different types, basically. Take you through the different types, which ones are edible, which ones aren't, which ones are for display, and of course my favourite ones. gotta mention those. And then we're going to decorate the house with them, I think. Obviously there will be a pile that we're going to, as I said, give away to like friends and family and things like that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with my personal favourite ones, which are these ones. But these are called fairy tale pumpkins because they quite literally do look like a Cinderella pumpkin. They are so pretty, so beautiful. I do really like the kind of soft orangey, or it's almost kind of corally apricot-y colour. It's really, really pretty. I love them. And these are edible as well. I think they're technically squash, not pumpkins. So yeah, they are edible, so we can chop these up. There's lots of lovely recipes that I've kind of accumulated over the years actually. Pumpkin macaroni and cheese is a personal favourite. That is really, really nice. But yeah, it's essentially just a massive, you know, squash, or I guess kind of like a sweet potato. So you can use it in all those kind of recipes that you normally use those in. Next up, we have these ones. So these are called Blue Prince squash, I believe. Again, this is very much open to my own research and what I can remember from last year. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Like, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm just going off what I've researched because, I mean, the variety is insane. And there's so many different types. So, you know, please be kind. Anyway, Blue Prince squash are these ones, I believe. So these are, again, one of my favourites. I love the kind of green, sort of sagey colour. So we have harvested these in, it's kind of mid-September. We were, obviously you're kind of meant to harvest them a little bit in about a month's time, but the garden was just getting so overrun and we just thought, you know what, let's just do it now while we have time and while the weather is reasonably fair still. These are Crown's Prince squashes. These are edible as well. We did actually eat one of these last year, and then I did actually put the seeds into the veg beds as well. So yeah, these are really yummy and good to eat. So next up we have, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We have this type of pumpkin, which is kind of like a really, the bottom of it is really unusual. It's kind of, I don't know, I don't even know how I describe that. It's kind of like layered. I think this is, no, that's, yeah, this would have been another one if we'd have let it grow a bit bigger. So these, I believe, are called turban pumpkins. And I think they are edible, but obviously this one is a little bit too small for us to eat. It's kind of a bit, it's more going to be for decoration, that one. This is actually probably the world's smallest marrow. So this was growing kind of like on our fence. And it's a really dinky little one, but this would be edible as well. It does look kind of like a marrow as well. You can kind of see that it is that. But yeah, that would definitely, this is absolutely edible. It's kind of like a courgette. I'm sure you all know that. But yeah, that's another little dinky one. We do have quite a few kind of gourds. So gourds aren't edible. They're more for display. So things like this, which you can kind of see is a lovely cream colour, but it's quite like mottled and it's kind of got like little dimples on it. It's obviously very small as well, so probably not worth eating, but things like this and these ones, so this is like a yellowy coloured one that has cobwebs all over it. So this is like a yellowy coloured one that also has the dimples on it. And again, I believe that's a gourd, that isn't edible. Same with ones like this. So I think these are called Hubbard squashes or a red curry. So that is basically, if it falls, no, it's all good. It's basically a mini version of this. So it's kind of like a rugby ball shape, these ones. Supposedly these are edible, but I don't know if I would, just because I tend to stay away from squashes that look, because it does look like a gourd, kind of mottled skin. So this will be mainly for display. And what we will probably end up doing with a lot of these pumpkins that aren't edible is we will do the same thing again. We will compost them down in our garden and just keep the cycle going, like regrow them for next year, which would be really cool. It's such a lovely, wholesome project that you can do. This one is one of my favorites, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. But it's really, really smooth, really pretty, a lovely kind of cream, almost like beige colour, I would say, actually. And I just love the stalk. I love how kind of whimsical and, no, you dropped it then, and wild it looks. I think that's really, really pretty. Again, I think that's another little marrow there, which is also edible. And I think that one is too. They do look quite similar there. So there's two little edible ones. You could maybe chop them up in like a nice stew or something like that. That would be really yummy. So we have a couple of monster pumpkins, I think. I believe that they were called, from what I remember from last year, these ones were called monster pumpkins. So this is a monster pumpkin. You can kind of see like the kind of, it's almost like warts. It's very Halloween-y. So we've got one here, another one there, and that one there. So I'm wondering if as they kind of ripen, they will become more orange. We may have, as I said, kind of maybe cut them a little bit too soon before they had a chance to turn fully orange. But perhaps as they kind of ripen and they're just kind of around the house, they may just gradually turn that colour anyway. I'm kind of intrigued to see how they turn out and if they do change to orange, because it's good to know for next year then. Oh, this is another turban pumpkin. You can kind of see why it's called that, because it does look like it's kind of got like a little hat sat on top of it. I think that's the same, yeah, the same bottom as that one. So those are obviously a little pair and they'd look quite sweet together. They're quite chunky as well, these ones actually. I do feel like you can kind of tell from the circumference of the stem, like how big they will get. Because you can see on the big ones, the stem is really, really chunky. But on these little ones, it's very fine and very delicate. And I feel like because this is a decorative gourd and it's only going to be quite small, it's not going to get that big. But I do feel like with these ones, because they've got really chunky stems, if left, I think they could get quite big, which would be intriguing to see how big they can get. I think this fairy tale pumpkin is definitely the biggest one here. I don't want to lift it up because we will then have pumpkins everywhere else, but it's heavy, like it's insane. And this one, no, these two actually were growing on the fence. They were just kind of dangling down over the fence. So the pumpkins had grown so wild that they were just kind of overtaking the garden. So we looped them over the fence and they were just hanging there. And I was amazed. I was kind of worried that they would snap off and fall and then smash, which is again another reason why we kind of cut them now. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is I definitely want to keep one of the Cinderella pumpkins or the fairy tale pumpkins. Some places say that they're Cinderella pumpkins, others that they're fairy tale pumpkins. I'm guessing it's kind of one and the same thing. So I definitely want to keep one of these. I'm thinking this one because I've loved this one. I have nursed this one. It's weird how you get attached to vegetables. But yeah, I might keep this one. I think we're going to give some of the other bigger ones away. I would like to keep one of the squashes though. I know my mum and dad have some lined up. My partner's mum and dad want some, so they will be dispersed. I do want to keep some of the little ones as well because I think they're really sweet for decor items. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this kind of, I don't know, it's not really a haul, is it? But I hope you enjoyed seeing a bit of a close-up of the pumpkins. What I'm going to do now is like decorate around the house with them, I think. What I wanted to do this year is I wanted to not buy anything new because I know that there's quite a lot of overconsumption when it comes to, you know, this time of year and when it comes to Christmas decorations. There's a lot of buying of new stuff. And I really didn't want to do that this year. Like even that pumpkin I've had that candle a few years and just not burnt it. And the wreath that I've had, again, for a little while now. So I didn't want to buy anything. And I think what a wonderful way to decorate your house with natural produce. You know, there's no plastic here. It's all natural stuff. Then we can compost it afterwards and do the same thing next year. And it's just going to be, as I said, a really nice tradition. So let's get on with the fun bit, the decorating. that is us about done. The pumpkins have been fully dispersed throughout the house. We have, I mean, there are lots of pumpkins dotted around the place, but it feels wonderfully cozy and it's lovely and warm by the fire. It's just, yeah, a really nice day. Really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did too. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel as well for more kind of similar content to this coming up very soon. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Stay happy and blessed be.